Hello, it's Sean. Today I'm starting a new project. This is Cruel Seas by Warlord Games. This is a World War II naval game, but it's focused on motor torpedo boats, so kind of a small scale boat action. You have the opportunity to use smaller ships such as corvettes and submarines, but by and large you don't get much bigger than that, I don't think. I like the idea of naval games. I play a lot of spaceship games, but I'm not opposed to a historical naval game as well. So I saw these rules, I thought I would check them out. I picked up the starter box, and then I've gotten a couple other model kits as well to go along with that. But I thought I would share my journey with you, and we would go through and see what it's like building these ships and then painting them up. This is the sprue from the starter box of the British Vospers. We have two hulls and all the different bits and pieces that get put on them. There's not a lot of details about how these things should actually be assembled, so I thought the first video I would do is kind of a step-by-step process for building these models. Of course, there was a lot of variation in these boats. The crews mounted different weapons, and they swapped out stuff, moved things around. But for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and build these in the suggested way, kind of so they match the pictures that are in the book for these ships, and we will go from there. First thing I'm going to do with the sprue is I'm going to trim out all the pieces. I have some clippers, so I'm going to trim nice and close to the edges. I always try to clip these as close as I can so that they're clean and easier to trim up once they're off of the sprue. I have all the pieces trimmed out. I printed out this sheet just so you can kind of see what the sprue look like, and this helps me keep the different pieces organized as I'm building it. I'm going to start with the Vosper motor torpedo boat type 1. So I'm going to take the hull, it's number 10. Trimmed up the line so it's nice and finished. I'm going to take the cabin pieces, so you can see pieces 14 and 15 are those. And so these are going to get put together first. Kind of dry fit them there and see how they're going to go together. And then they will get placed in here like that. So now I know they fit right. I'm going to go ahead and glue it together. Just do a couple of dabs of glue. I'm going to put a little glue on the post here. Slide it right in there. Next, I'm going to mount the torpedo tubes. The Type 1 only has one tube on each side, so that's down here. You can see pieces 12 and 13. They are starboard and port. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that real well, but if you look, this is the front of the tube and the back. There's right here, get something I can point with. Right here on the back of the tube is a little bulge, and that is on the outside. So when you mount this, make sure that goes to the outside of the boat. I think it's part of the compression on how they were launched. I'm not 100% certain of that, but this one is going to be the starboard torpedo tube. It's going to go into these holes right here. Dry fit it again, just make sure it fits. Pop it back out. Just a couple of dabs of glue on the pins, You don't need much glue on this. You don't want it squirting out all over the boat. Hold it in place for a second. The glue will dry pretty quick, and you've got that done. I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on, and you can see the front of the tube, and this one, that little mount is kind of on the outside of the tube. So that's going to be the port side. Next, we're going to mount the guns. The Type 1 motor torpedo boat has the twin Vickers number 3 and the 20mm cannon, which is number 4. So the twin Vickers is going to get mounted back here, and it goes into this little circle. So it'll get placed just like that and glued in place. The cannon is going to get placed up here on the foredeck, and there's not really a specific place for it. You can see the cannon kind of has a little flat base. That is going to just get glued to the deck. So we just need a little dab of glue on that, and then we'll put it here. So first we're going to put on the machine gun, the twin Vickers machine gun. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there. You can kind of point it whichever way you want. So I'm facing mine to the rear of the boat. And then next, just a little dab of glue on the bottom of this cannon. Kind of find where you want it, put it down, and hold it with your finger for a second until the glue dries. Last up for assembling this ship is to attach a mast. Both masts are the same. I've seen discussion about these not being accurate on how they're built. The cross beams are the front, but the way this top and lower mast are attached, it should be reversed, I think. I can't change that. I'm not going to build new ones. I'm just going to attach these. Some people have used thinner wire because they feel these are out of scale as well. I'm not that concerned about it. This is a toy boat for playing war games on a tabletop, so I'm good with it. But I'm going to attach so that the mast, the cross pieces are to the front of the ship. I'm also going to trim a little bit off on the outside because it's pretty tight, not going in the hole all the way. So I'm just going to take my craft knife and do a little trimming around the outside of this. Don't take off too much on any one side because then it might be lopsided. A little drop of glue. This one you want to be careful. Try to get it square with the ship and as upright as you can. With the glue, you've got a little bit of time to adjust that, but not a lot. And there we go. Now we're going to build the Type 2 MTB. Same process. We're going to start with the cabin. That's pieces 7 and 8 here. These are a little bit different. We're going to attach them to the hull first, not to each other. So pick a side. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the pegs. hold it in place for a minute, let that dry. And this one, I'm going to do the pegs as well, but I'm going to put a little glue on the edge here where it'll touch the other side. Give the glue a chance to set, and you're good to go. On this one, we have 2 sets of tubes, so make sure you put the right ones in the right place. Again, on the back of the tube, we have that little bulge there. That's going to go to the outside of the boat. So dry fit the pieces, make sure you've got them where they need to go, and you can see how they fit. And again, that little bulge and that one, they go on the outside. A little bit of glue on the pegs. Hold it in place for a second, let that glue dry quick, and you're good to go. This one has the twin 20mm cannons. The cannon is 2 pieces. You have a left and a right. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of one side. Try to get it where the holes are going to be, either on the peg or in the holes. Again, careful not to use too much glue because you don't want it squeezing all over. Put the pieces together, pinch it on the bottom, so that way, because at the top you might split the bottom. The bottom's got to fit into the hole on the boat. So pinch it on the bottom, give it a minute, let it dry. Once that dry, we're just going to put a little dab of glue on the bottom and stick it in the front of the boat. Goes into this little hole here. So a little dab of glue. Decide which way you want it facing. Stick it in that hole. Hold it in place for a second, let it dry. Kind of make sure it's upright. Last thing to attach is the mast on this. Same thing. I'm going to trim the bottom of it a little bit to make sure it will fit in the hole. Dry fit it, stick it in, make sure it's snug. Put a little dab of glue on the base. And there we go. Well, I've got a couple of ships completed and assembled. Hope you found the guide helpful and that it helps you build your ships. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see other videos like this and the other projects that I work on, you can subscribe to my channel. Please be sure to click the notification bell so you get emails when I post new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and there's links for all of those in the description below. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.